What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzly, home of Memphis X, and I talk hoops. Today, I am talking about the Grizzlies visiting their big brothers, the Golden State Warriors. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Demorous back in that scoreboard. He that MVP.
Before we start talking about the Golden State Warriors and our game against them tonight on ESPN, yes, we're back on the show. ESPN tonight. The Grizzlies face the Warriors at 9 p.m. local time. We have a couple of items of news for the Memphis Grizzlies. The first is not so good. Our big guy, Steven Adams, is going to be out 3 to 5 weeks due to a PCL strain in his right knee. So the Grizzlies are going to get a chance to learn what would happen if Steve-O got taken out in the playoffs. He wasn't able to, it was a bad matchup for him or something. And we get to see a month or maybe a little, knowing the Grizzlies, a month and a half after the All-Star break. We'll get to see what the Grizzlies look like, what Ja Morant looks like, what the offense looks like, what the rebounding looks like, what Jaren Jackson looks like, who is the backup, who steps up, who doesn't step up. We get a lot more questions answered in the next, I would say, 6 weeks without Steven Adams. So that is something to talk about. Also, we had a Woj bomb this morning. Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Grizzlies' Danny Green plans to return from knee injury on February 1st. So that is about a smooth 1 week away. He is a week away from returning February 1st against the Portland Trail Blazers. I guess Danny Green dropped it on his podcast, Inside the Green Room. Maybe I need to start listening to that. Green is 35. I'm going to read some of this little article ESPN put out. Green, 35, comes to the Grizzlies with a pedigree of 3 NBA championships and the belief he can play a significant role in the franchise-owned title aspirations. Green says, what I bring is definitely needed here, perimeter shooting and perimeter defense. I think I can bring maturity and help a young team understand what it takes to win. This has been an A1 organization from top to bottom in handling this entire rehab with me. Green tore his ACL and LCL in his left knee while playing for the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals in May. So he is going to be out just 8 months. And you got to remember, Joe Ingles just came back the fastest ever from ACL surgery last month, and it was 10 months for him, I think. It's not realistic to come back from this injury quickly. Everybody's body is very different, but I've been lucky to have a pretty good surgeon, a pretty good body that healed really well and quickly, and the right people around me to help me get there. A lot of things that fall in place for this to have, a lot of things had to fall in place for this to happen this way. So it looks like Danny Green is going to be a part of the rotation, because if he is healthy and able to play, the Grizzlies and Taylor Jenkins will be playing him. You can bet that. So he will probably be taking those 8th, 9th guy minutes, 9th guy minutes, the John Conchar, David Roddy type minutes. I don't think he's going to take any minutes from Zaire Williams, although Zaire Williams' shooting has left a lot to be desired as far as his perimeter shooting, three-point shooting. So we don't know about that. So that's the 2 bits of news that the Grizzlies have going in the last 24 hours, I guess. Also, Steven Adams, of course, is going to be out. John Conchar is going to be out tonight due to being in the NBA's concussion protocol. So there you go. We got a lot of little news coming around. And if you want to check it out, Chris Vernon, local Memphis sports radio host who works for Grind City Media, the Grizzlies media conglomerate. He was on Bill Simmons talking about the Grizzlies, on the Bill Simmons podcast talking about the Grizzlies, if you would like to check that out. Did get into some speculation that he thinks the Grizzlies are going to make a move at the trade deadline. I am not so optimistic, but we shall see. But let's talk about this game tonight. Now, of course, the Grizzlies and the Warriors are old foes from the playoffs last year and the play-in game the year before that. So it is, not a rivalry because the Grizzlies have yet to leave the Warriors disappointed. Even though they did beat them in the play-in game, it's not the same as beating them in the playoffs. So I wouldn't say the rivalry is there. There's some animosity, but it's more that animosity of annoyance. We're like an annoyance to the Warriors. There are 4 championships in. That's why I call them the Grizzlies' big brothers. Draymond has a relationship with Jaren Jackson and Xavier Tillman, the bad blood, I guess, from the Dylan Brooks foul, but it's no worse than what the Warriors do to their own teammates. So, tonight's game will be very telling. The Grizzlies are on a 3-game losing streak, and I don't think the Warriors have been playing well either. Lately, they have lost 2 of their last 3, and they're losing. Oh, Jesus. They went on a little 4-game winning streak, and then they've lost 6 of their last 9. So they're not playing well either. So both of these teams could really use a win tonight. Both of these teams will likely bring out the best in each other. The Grizzlies hopefully are up for this game after the ass kicking the Warriors gave to them on Christmas. And we will see a good game. Mostly, except for Steven Adams, I think mostly everybody for the Warriors is healthy. I think the Warriors are 100% healthy. So the Grizzlies will be without Steven Adams and John Conchar. But you know how I feel about stuff like that. The NBA season is 82 games, and we've already seen throughout this season that your team should be able to overcome injuries, especially when they're not major injuries to one of your top three guys. So Steven Adams is a significant part of what the Grizzlies do. Their philosophy is really built around his rebounding and the defense of the Twin Towers of Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams. So he's a significant loss, but it is not an excuse that should be used in order to mail this game in. You're on a 3-game losing streak. You've gotten your ass kicked 3 games in a row, especially in the first half, down by almost 20-ish in every game. So show some pride, fellas. Peace.